Hey everyone, and welcome. Think about the last time you were at an airport in India. Ever wonder who's really running the show behind the scenes? Well, today we're playing a little game. We're on the hunt for one single company that pretty much dominates your travel experience. I'm going to give you the clues, and you're going to guess the champ. Sound good? Let's get into it. So here it is, the big question. Who is India's airport king? I mean, think about it. That coffee you grab before an early flight, the quick meal between connections, or even the lounge you might be relaxing in. There's one company that has quietly built a massive empire around all of it. Let's see if you can piece it together. All right, let the hunt begin. The next few slides have everything you need to crack this case. You're going to want to pay really close attention to the numbers here, because they tell a story of some serious dominance. Okay, clue number one for you is this big number, 500. This company runs over 500 outlets. We're talking everything from coffee kiosks to fancy restaurants, and they're in 14 out of the top 15 busiest airports in India. Just think about that. It means the next time you're hustling to your date, you are almost guaranteed to pass by one of their spots. That's the kind of insane scale we're talking about here. Now for clue number two, let's step inside the world of airport lounges. This is a really profitable part of the travel business, and this one company, they control almost half of it, a whopping 45% market share. So if you're a business traveler, you've probably spent time in one of their lounges, whether you knew it or not. They are practically unavoidable. And for our final clue, let's talk about staying power. See, this company isn't just huge, it's built to last. They have a 94% contract retention rate. That means once they get into an airport, they almost never leave. And with their average contract lasting more than 8 years, well, you can see how their income becomes incredibly stable and predictable. Okay, let's recap the clues. We've got massive scale, total dominance in the lounge scene, and revenue that's basically locked in for years. So, have you got it? Take a second, think it over. Do you know who our airport king is? All right, the moment of truth. If you guessed travel food services, then you are absolutely right. They are the powerhouse operating just under the radar in India's airports, from Mumbai all the way down to Chennai. That's the one. Travel Food Services, or TFS for short. This is the company that has been quietly building an absolute empire inside India's terminals. They've literally become a crucial part of the country's whole travel network. And it's not just about lounges. Get this. TFS also controls a massive 26% of the entire travel quick service restaurant market. The QSR market. That's more than a quarter of all the fast food joints you see in airports. Their grip on the market is just undeniable. But market share is really only one part of the story. To really get a sense of TFS's power, we've got to look at the money. So let's do a deep dive into the financials, because honestly, this is where things get even more impressive. Okay, just look at their performance in the first half of fiscal year 2026. It was incredible. Their like-for-like sales, which is just a way of measuring growth from their existing stores, shot up by over 10%. But what's really amazing is the profit. Their core earnings were up 14%, and their final profit after all taxes jumped 17%. So the company isn't just getting bigger, it's getting way more profitable. So how are they doing it? Well, they're just getting smarter and more efficient. Their profit margins are expanding like crazy, an EBITDA margin improvement of 300 basis points. That sounds complicated, but it just means for every 100 rupees they make in sales, they're now keeping an extra 3 rupees as pure profit. They're becoming an incredibly efficient machine. And maybe the most mind-blowing part of their story is this turnaround. We're looking at something called return on capital employed, which basically shows how good a company is at turning money into more money. Back in fiscal year 21, they were actually losing 9%. But fast forward to fiscal year 25, and they are generating a massive 42% return. I mean, that is just a phenomenal leap in performance. Okay, so we've seen the market dominance, we've seen the amazing financial health. It sounds like a perfect story, right? Well, not so fast. Every investment has two sides. So let's get to the verdict and weigh the company's biggest strength against its single biggest risk. So on the plus side, its valuation actually looks pretty attractive. The company's price-to-earnings ratio is around 41. Now, you might hear 41 and think that's high, but it's actually cheaper than its competitors, especially for a company that's growing this fast. It kind of suggests you might be getting a great company at a bit of a discount. But, and this is a big but, here's the other side of the coin. A truly staggering 86% of the company's entire revenue comes from just its top 5 airports. That is a huge concentration risk. I mean, if they were to lose a key contract at just one of those major airports, it would be a massive hit to their bottom line. And that really brings us to our final question. On one hand, you've got this dominant, profitable, super efficient company that looks like it might be undervalued. But on the other, so much of its success is tied to just a handful of locations. So you have to ask, is keeping 86% of your eggs in one basket just too risky? That's the billion-dollar question for anyone looking at this airport king. Thanks for watching.